How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today my match review of Fulham 2, Forest 0. Another very poor game away from home in the Premier League. We just have an awful record on the road, don't we, this season, besides 2 draws and that one at Southampton. I believe that's it for anything we've picked up on the road this season. So yeah, it's a big concern, the away form, and we've got to rely heavily on the home form, and I still firmly believe we can survive, but it was always going to be a very tough one, this, against Fulham, who have had a brilliant season. For straight away, fair play to them. Got some great players, a great manager, and they've got it going this season. Previous years they've come up and they've heavily struggled and just gone straight back down again multiple times, and they've been a bit of a joke, but fair play to them. They haven't just survived this season, but they're pushing for European football, so it was always going to be tough, very tough. But again, I just feel like the 2 goals we conceded, particularly the second goal, was we made it too easy for them. The first goal was a great goal from Willie. I'm not going to take any credit away from him. Really good finish, great bit of skill. Loddy was completely spun by him. He literally put Loddy on the floor, headed the ball straight into the path of Willian initially. There's certainly men in front of the box, or front of the goal, and it's just frustrating to concede in that situation. But I'm not going to take credit away from Willian, because it was a really good goal. Before that goal, of course, it's got to be mentioned, 2 injuries at the same time, in the same position, after 7 minutes. Never seen such a thing before. Obviously, McKenna and Bolly going off, seemingly with hamstring problems. And I'm so baffled by injuries this season. Like, you look at this, you can literally make a starting 11 of the injuries you've got. It's mental, and I just think it's plaguing us. And I really want to ask questions. What is going on in like the warm-ups and in training? Why are these players going down like flies? Like, you're always going to have injuries, but it just seems to be happening a lot this season, doesn't it? And it's just strange how they both went down at the same time. Bolly, it might be a reoccurring problem because he has been injured before recently. McKenna is a particularly strange one, and I think he did well against Leeds, so it's frustrating for him to get injured. Hopefully not for too long, and it's very good news that Cottage should be back soon. Rolls Royce a defender from what we can see, so yeah, that's a very good time for him to come back, and hopefully he's back soon, especially against Man City, but we'll get onto that in a moment. Obviously the second goal, yeah, dreadful, really poor defending. No one was picking up Solomon. It was a good finish, but again, no one was picking him up. Aurier was in no man's land. He ran for some reason towards the left hand side of the pitch when there was Solomon coming right up with no one on him at all. And it was just a bit of a car crash, the defending, really. Just switched off for a moment, and it's frustrating because before that second goal it felt like we were getting back into the game, and I'm just basing this off what I heard off the radio and what I've seen in highlights and what I've heard people talk about. Particularly when Chris Wood went off, it doesn't sound like he's the answer at all. I've had my doubts about him, especially when we signed him. And I did start to think, oh, you know what, he's a proven Premier League player, so I'll give him a chance, but he's not worked at all so far. He just seems to be this big striker that's just jogging around at the top, not really doing much with no end product, and very frustrating. And apparently Dennis was just as frustrating, only I'm basing that off Twitter, so I don't know how accurate that is. Twitter does tend to be a bit of a mess at times, doesn't it, with opinions. One good thing though, apparently Felipe did alright, and particularly apparently John Shelby did do well when he came on. I did see one of the things, he did a really good cross with pace into the box, which obviously didn't result in a goal, but it was a really good effort from him. And honestly, I'm very excited to see what Shelby can do for us going forward this season. Really, it could be a very shrewd bit of business, that. So there's a few positives, Felipe, Shelby. Can't really comment about anything else. A few more concerns about Wood and Dennis, potentially. Not sure about Wall, whether he was particularly good when he came on or not. But I think we have to take it on the chin. It was Fulham, who were doing really well this season. But I just feel it's another case of the fact that we did make it a bit too easy for them with the goals that they did score. Great goals, particularly the first one, but we didn't help ourselves, if you get what I mean. And, I'm saying, well, we're losing to Fulham away, fair enough, but then I realised I've got Man City at home next week. If I'm honest, I've not really got much hope at all. I know City are in a bit of a lull at the moment, kind of, with the situation off the pitch going on. Don't think that's going to affect them too much, but losing to Spurs last week, who just got hammered today by Leicester, It's not a good sight to see them lose to Spurs, and they have slipped up at times this season, so who knows, we could. But City have all the minerals to quite easily beat us. Not being negative, but I just feel we've got to be realistic. But then again, at home, you know, we've proven we've got a good record at home, so who knows, we could get something from it. But I mean, I 100,000,000% take a point against City, even a narrow defeat. Not that we want to lose, but just so long as we don't concede a load of goals, just put in a good performance against them that we can be proud of and we can take into future games. And of course, after City, more than anything, what we need to focus on, and well, not focus on, but believe we can get points from, is West Ham and Everton. Obviously, West Ham in a tough position. Everton is going to be a really tough game now with Sean Dyche there. We're going to see how he can do before we play them, obviously, against Liverpool, and I presume another game as well. So, yeah, there's winnable games coming up against West Ham and Everton, in my opinion. But City's going to be an incredibly difficult match. Only I don't expect it to be anything like the 6-0. I think it'll be a different kind of game, ultimately at home, and now we're actually a gelled team. Yeah, that's all I can really say, honestly. I mean, if I missed anything out, I haven't watched the game properly because I can't, because that's just the rules with streaming. And yeah, that's what it is really. Of course, I'll be at City. I do apologise for the lack of uploads this week, only it has actually been for a good cause, because I've been working on a video that I'm really excited to share with you all. I wanted to do more video essays for a long time. I've done one about Scarpa and Danilo recently. And yeah, this one's a particularly big video which I'm excited to share with you all. So hopefully it goes down well, you all enjoy it, and there will be consistent uploads again next week. So look forward to that, and I'll see you very soon, everyone. Tough day at the office, but let's keep the faith. Up the Reds.